So, with two years of pandemic, we have seen a lot of work from home and a lot of digitization programs happening. So, what has been your so far experience in terms of dealing with customers when it comes to the services or managed services? What have been their requirements in last 1 year you have been dealing with them, so what has been their major requirements in terms of cloud services or managed services?
So the pandemic has definitely changed the way people looked at digital transformation. Earlier, prior to the pandemic, people actually wasted a lot of time talking about technology and learning about what all solutions are there in the market, but they did not bother to invest into technology. Post pandemic, that perception has changed now. People have understood that digital transformation is a compulsion. It's a necessity. You cannot continue to run any organization in this world without doing proper digital transformation, internal DX, external DX. So all the types of solutions that you need to implement for the growth of the business, for transformation of the business. And now when people invite us, when we meet a customer, so they do not actually waste time. Earlier we saw that government organizations spent years in discussing a tender document, RFP, and did not close on it. Enterprises like went on negotiating for a couple of months or beyond a year, but did not conclude on a deal. But now that has changed. So that's a very welcome move that people have started taking digital transformation as a necessity. It was always a necessity, but earlier people did not realize. Now that realization is there, and this realization is bringing a massive transformation in the world now.
What sort of needs they normally ask for, or in majority of cases what they are looking when it comes to a data center service provider? What has been their important, say, two or three needs they want you to, as a provider, need to address or need to help them? What are those basic three or four things their requirements are for most businesses in India?
See, earlier SaaS was not considered by people in India. People always preferred to buy a product and then deploy that product into their premise. That was the model. That I want my data to be in my campus. I want it to reside in my facility. To own the data was a thought process earlier. That has changed now. We have seen people have started considering so many SaaS offerings. We also have a couple of good SaaS offerings. People are giving business to us for our SaaS offerings. In fact, government organizations in India, no one ever thought that government can take SaaS software as a service, and like Microsoft Office 365, or in case of our iPaaS, like integrated planning and automation system, VTM scan. So there are so many products in the market now which are being considered by people. So SaaS has got a good time, platform as a service has a good time, got a good time, and people do not hesitate now to host their data or in someone else's data center. So earlier we saw that the government or customers or the banking customers, they always said that we will own a data center. We will have a data center within our premises. But now they have started co-locating. So some of them have moved their data on a co-location model. Some people have moved on a cloud infrastructure as a service model, and some people have started directly going for software as a service.
What kind of growth you have seen in last 1 year? Overall, what has been your own growth in terms of customer base?
So until end of like FY21, which is like 31st March 2021, we had 1400 customers. The growth has been in banking sector, government sector, as well as enterprises. All three are growing at the same rate for us. The demand is there for all the new generation solutions today. The people wanted to implement a core banking software in the banking sector segment, or in the enterprises they were looking for a ERP solution, and in the government side they were just looking for a basic office automation solution. But now in all the verticals, people are looking for advanced solutions. So that's a very welcome thing for us. We are able to actually convince customers on the next generation technologies like IoT. World's largest IoT project, which is the smart metering project, energy efficiency services smart metering project, that is going live right now in India. And more than like 2.5 million smart meters have gone live from our cloud platform. Banks are implementing channels. Multiple new generation channels are being implemented by banks. So we are playing a crucial role there also. Government organizations also implementing like G2C, government to citizen services. Now, lots of loan portals like the Mudra Yojana or Stand Up India, Startup India, all these kind of portals where people have to just go there, log in, apply, and they get facilities online. They do not need to go to a bank. So all these kind of technologies which are benefiting the citizens directly, those are being implemented, and we are playing a crucial role over there.
Little bit, since you mentioned that you expect a higher growth in the next financial year, so do you see the momentum in terms of cloud services will continue, the adoption of new technologies, digital transformation projects are going to continue, or you see with the deep in since the pandemic is slowly fading away. I'm in my own personal opinion, I would say, but I think a lot of companies are going to move back to the office, are going to open probably by March or by April this year, later, in next few weeks, or next month. So do you see the demand for data service, would there be any minor change, or it will continue, or will exceed? What's your own take on that?
The trend will continue. I don't think so that the trend can be reversed now. People have understood that they cannot risk anymore. Even if the pandemic comes to a complete end, you have to be self-dependent. Atmanirbhar is not an option, but it's a compulsion. So to be self-dependent, self-reliant, Atmanirbhar, you have to implement digital transformation, completely digitalize your business, and let people have experience all the services of from your business, or those should be available online. Your people should be able to work online. Your customers should be able to communicate with you online, get all your facilities online. So there's a long way actually yet to be covered, like the long distance to be covered by all the organizations in India. So where we are today, we are not even like, probably I would say we have not achieved even 1% of what we will be in like 2035.
How do you see, say, future plan for this year, moving into the next financial year? What sort of roadmap you are looking at, or what sort of initiatives that you are likely to pursue, given this scenario? Basically, is there more focus on the India market, or do you see there more opportunities in little bit overseas region? What has been your so far strategy, go to market? How do you see?
Our primary focus is on India as a market. We have invested a lot of time doing business here, creating a positive perception in India. And this country, you have to be very, very sure about your reputation. You have to position yourself in the market, build a very positive reputation of the company, and then be consistent here. We want to continue to focus on growth in India, and then other markets which are similar to India. So we have targeted Middle East and African markets. So we are selling our software as a service, managed services to the banks and enterprises in the Middle East and African market. At the moment, India, and then Middle East and Africa, MEA region.
Do you see increasing in your number of people headcount, and how is you going to back your growth trajectory? How you want to, as you mentioned, you want to focus on the Indian market, and the Middle East and Africa. So are there any plans to set up more offices, or tie up with local partners in those market to take your offering more precise, more direct?
So we have hired people in the Middle East market, and we have started office also. We have an office in Dubai. We have an office in Bahrain. Hiring is happening on a large scale over there. At the moment, we have got like some 5 people working over there, but very soon it will be like more than few dozen people working for us in our Dubai office. So we are scaling up outside also. We are hiring in India more than 400 people. So in one full calendar year, we have hired more than 400 people in India. And this year, we are hopeful that we will be hiring more than 500, 600 people. So in case of a data center and a cloud business, you don't need so many people. But in our case, we are hiring people because we are seeing need for innovative technologies, for good solutions. People, customer want us to design a solution for their future. They are not able to get proper solutions from other players in the market, because when the customer goes to someone else in the market, they just get a infrastructure as a service, or a platform as a service, or a software as a service. They don't get that vision from an organization that, okay, for a growing kind of an organization, what should be their solution architecture. So because we are helping our customers to see the future, so that's why we are getting a very good response. And for that reason, we need people who bring understand the company's vision, and then also understand the vision for that the customer is having for their business growth, and designing solutions for them. So that is one thing that where we are seeing a lot of people joining organization to help customers. So we are not just a cloud infrastructure as a service player, but we are a cloud solution player. So we make a complete solution and then give it to the customer, and then also help the customer to evolve that solution in the future, because you cannot deploy something today and then that will continue to run the same way for you for 5 years. Every 3 years you have to review your architecture, update your architecture, upgrade the entire infrastructure. So we do that for our customers. And lift and shift is a strength of our company. Migrations is a strength of our company. We upgrade and we do proper managed services on all types of cloud environments. So all that is our strength. We've been very, very good at that from last 15 years.
How is the competition in India? We are seeing a lot of local players also coming in. When I say local Indian players, companies like yours and Yota and other, and then also there is MNC backed players coming. So how do you see the overall market when it comes to data center specifically, on the pricing, or what has been your overall perspective on the Indian data center market? Because we have been seeing a lot of concentration happening on say Mumbai region or Bangalore. But do you see that there is more scope to move to other locations on a geographical advantages, or what's your has been so far?
No, you are absolutely right. There have been a lot of people who have entered this market. But see, as I mentioned earlier, India respects companies which have been there in the market. Consistency is respected here, and credibility. You have been there in the market from long time, have been highly credible. Because one thing which Indian customers have suffered big time here is that they get cheated by the organizations. Many a times, a new company which comes in the market, which has not even spent 2 3 years in the market, they come, they acquire the customers, they sell the business, or they shut down the business. That has happened many many times in India. That's the reason a credible organization having more than a decade of experience in India, consistently there in the market, not here to just come get acquired by someone or shut down the business. So we have seen that our customers give us a last right of refusal. So even if there is a negotiation that happens in a deal, the customer says that, okay, because we want ESDs only to do the work for us, will you accept the business at this at shares so and so price? So we now, due to the technology that we have got, the vertical auto scaling and the patented technology, we are able to optimize our resources, and then we are able to make good profits as well. So in some cases, we will definitely make a compromise on the margins that we make, but we get that choice from our customers. So that's a major advantage of being a reputed and an organization which has been very consistent in the market.
what has been the main objective you are looking at for, going into the market, raising capital? What has been your fundamental purpose? What's you look at?
So same thing I believe can happen in India, because Indian customer, Indian investors, they are also wanting to invest in technologies, in portfolios which are like future technologies, which are going to massively transform India. Now, I have calculated that based on the kind of demand which is coming for artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, blockchain, AR, VR in India, and then video analytics, and the massive computing workload, GPU computing workload. So all these workloads will take India from a 600 megawatt to a 60 gigawatt in less than 10 years time. So if that kind of a transformation is going to happen in the country, we want a significant pie out of that. Can ESDS have a 10% share of that market, or at least a 5%? So if
Okay.
to do that, we will have to go public. We will have to take help of take investments from the public.